Hello citizens of the internet, prepare to disagree. Welcome to Devil's Advocate, the new show on quadratic equation. It's going to be my show, and I'm going to talk about unpopular opinions, and I'm going to defend them for you. If you agree with what I say, or if you disagree, feel free to leave it in the comments, and also feel free to leave me suggestions for unpopular opinions you want me to defend. It could either be something that you believe that you know no one else does, or something that you think is impossible to defend. Give me a challenge. So today I'm going to be talking about movies. Specifically, movies based off of books, and why they don't have to actually follow what the book says. Okay, so imagine that I have a brilliant story about, let's say, going to the grocery store. I tell you about my drive there, that on the way there was a wreck in front of me, that I had to get into the other lane to avoid and narrowly missed death because a car was speeding in front of me and I had to swerve back into the other lane. And I talk about how I got to the grocery store, and I tell you all the things that I picked up, and how I went to the cashier and met, like, just my best friend without knowing it yet, and I had found a new friendship in this cashier, and how it had changed my life forever. If I had actually made that a good story, that would be a really good story. Now, with that in mind, what if I told you that I actually videotaped the whole thing, and I have it on my phone right here? If I were to play all of that for you, would you actually want to watch it? Because I just told you everything. I gave you the full-on summary of what happened. Would you want to see the same story again, just with a new medium? And I know that you're thinking, well, yeah, because I read this book and I really liked it, and I would love to see it fleshed out in a new form, and sure, that's fine. But if the director decides to take a creative, twist with it, I think that he should be allowed to do it, because it adds a new perspective, it adds a new form to a story. Another way of looking at it, comic books. There are superhero movies everywhere, right? That not a single one of them really follows a specific comic panel by panel. It takes some of the more important bits and it runs with it, does its own story, does its own thing, and we love it. In fact, some of the highest grossing movies right now are superhero movies, Marvel movies. And how do they do that? Well, Marvel has a thing, it's called the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in which they basically tell you that the movies of the Marvel superheroes exist in its own universe. And I think the same could be true for books, for movies based off of books. If you take it as it uses some of the canonical elements of that book, but it's in a different universe where a couple of things happen differently, then it's fine. And I know you may be thinking, well, every time that happens, the movie ends up being terrible. And yes, I'm looking at you, Lightning Thief. But I think the real issue there is that the creative direction that they took was wrong. Like, keeping with the example of Lightning Thief, going through the whole movie, they were looking for 3 pearls to get them out of Hades. Spoiler alert. Sorry, late spoiler alert. To get out of the underworld, knowing full well that they would have to leave with 4 people. They went the whole... And that's not how the book does it. So honestly, it all comes down to one thing. Is the movie good? And all I'm trying to argue here is that if the movie doesn't follow the book, that doesn't necessarily mean it isn't. Thank you for watching.